welcome to another episode of the Mignon Show. I am here with my new celebrity guest host for the month of August. Miss Jewel is in the house.
Super excited.
Yes, we love Jewel. She is the founder and the executive director of An Earthly Embrace. But I'm going to let her tell you all about that because I was great going to her spiel. But who's even better to tell you what she do than her? So I'm going to go ahead and throw it on over to you, Jewel, and tell all our listening guests who you are and what you do in the community.
Okay, so I'm going to let you guys know now I am bad about speaking about myself, but to share a little bit about myself. So my name is Jewel, last name is Eugene. And I am the founder and executive director of An Earthly Embrace. We are a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to heal, empower, and rebuild the lives of men, women, and children that are impacted by domestic violence. We've been in business now since 2012, and it's been, although the work that we do hurts, it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful journey as we have really worked with the teens in the community, and we work with the parents because what we really want to do is help with healing, empowering, and rebuilding lives, because it goes such a long way, and there's so many layers to domestic violence, intimate partner violence, sexual abuse, and it's happening in the home. And if we're not good at home, when we go out into the world, it's tainted.
Yes.
You know, we're injured.
Yes.
So yeah, just out in the community, we are a mobile company. So we are primarily in Prince George's County, but we work in D.C. We work in New York. We have also worked in Richmond, Norfolk. So we're trying to go all over the place. So yeah, we definitely want to touch lives, because we get that sometimes people don't want to come out to get help. So we'll come out, educate you, and hopefully put you on the right path.
Absolutely,
things,
absolutely. And they are doing a phenomenal job. I'm telling you, this has been my partner. I have been working with her for probably about the last 4 years.
I'm going to shoot for 5.
Oh, okay, 5 years
of
us partnering together and doing this domestic violence awareness and education. And I'm telling you guys, with the teens, this is the woman who actually have me focusing on the teens, because it's so important with the teens. And I even found that out, you know, when I first started my organization, we were into helping more adults. But then as time go on, you know, you started thinking to yourself, okay, well, we have to start this earlier.
Right.
Because instead of trying to repair adults, we need to train children. If we train them, then that way we can eradicate this thing, right?
Exactly, because it goes such a long way. And unfortunately, as adults, I think sometimes we lie to ourselves. We think the children are not going to see it. They think that it's not going to impact them. And it's a false hope almost, you know. Our children are witnessing this a lot of times from a very, very young age, and it becomes their norm.
Absolutely.
So because we don't want them to continue the cycle as they start dating, we're finding now, just being out in the community, about the age of 11.
Yeah.
The age of 11 is where, personally, I would say that we have found that it is relevant, and I'm speaking about not just at home, but as they have boyfriends, girlfriends. It's not a joke. So if nothing else, we will educate the community so that we can make better decisions at home, because that's where it starts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do we have a call? Okay, so we have our first call, Jewel. So hello, you're live on the Mignon Show with Jewel and Mignon.
Hey, Mignon. Hey, Jewel. It's Roz.
Hey, Roz.
We love Roz.
How are you, sweetie?
I am good. Of course, I got watching you guys on the laptop, got my phone in my ear, had to make sure I call and give my sister some support and love. So you guys are doing amazing. And Jewel, your work speaks for itself. You don't even have to talk about yourself, baby. It speaks for itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She is phenomenal. Thank you so much, Roz. That is Roz in the community. She was my guest host last month, and we're going to be seeing her again. So you got to keep watching so you can check out all these guests that we have on here. I'm telling you, some phenomenal people that are doing great work in the community.
Keep up the good work, ladies. I am watching.
Thank you. Roz. And I have to say this to Roz. Hopefully she's still listening right now. But Absolutely. She's one of the best parts of the work. She is definitely a reflection of that because we met while we were out in the community. In the last 3 years, we have grown from just chit-chatting every once in a while to now we are working together. So it's been a beautiful growth in the relationship and what we do. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We love you. Me and my husband love you, Ju. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we love
All
our
right.
sisterhood.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you, Roz.
You're welcome, ladies. Love you guys.
Love you too. Yeah, so now that we have talked about Miss Jewel and who she is, so what we're going to do now, we're actually going to we're at the part of the show where we have our weekly girl chat. So just like I said, some of these stories will be stories that a lot of times you may not hear in the news, but they're happening. So we definitely want to bring you these other stories of what's going on around the country. So Jewel, can you just tell everybody about our story we have this evening?
Yes, so I have to share that Thursday I was getting dressed, trying to mind my own business, and then on the news I heard a snippet about Ohio State coach being basically suspended, and he was suspended because of a domestic violence issue. I didn't know what the full story was, so I did look this up. So essentially, and I'm just reading off the headline, and this is from the Chronicle of Lighter Education. So it states Ohio State suspended its head football coach. Does that show universities are taking stronger stand on domestic abuse? So I'm going to try to summarize this for you guys. So basically, Urban Meyer, he is a head coach at the university, and he actually was put on suspension because his assistant head coach was accused of abusing his wife. That being said, the wife was actually, they've divorced at this time, and she was in an interview that I saw a snippet of a couple days ago. And now, because the head coach, the leader, did not take a stand on what she reported to him, it's gone to this point. Now, just to make sure that it's crystal clear, the other part of this is the wife actually came out and said, I told the coach. The coach, when asked about from the authorities of the school, did he know about it? He said he didn't know anything about it. So now they're at this point where, okay, they have to investigate. So there's like I think it's six leaders that are coming here into place, and 3 of them are trustees. And what they're going to do is they have an investigation. So the investigation, they're going to have to decide what to do with the coach. And this hit me in a couple different ways. But it goes back to the educational piece. A lot of times we'll have victims that do report the abuse, looking for help, not per se maybe wanting to go the traditional way of going to authorities, but then they reach out to somebody that might have some influence on the abuser. And then nothing's done.
Yep.
Nothing's done. So is it to be put on the coach? Because now that's a big debate, right? Is it his fault? What should he have done? And it's a very, very big gray area.
It is.
It's a huge gray area.
But I'm thinking that, in this day and time, with him the coach being in the position that he was in remember with the whole Sandusky thing, with the other coach, that people had went to him. Right. And was saying that he was touching these little boys, but nobody said anything.
Right.
So like in this day and time, you have to be able to say that in the position that I hold,
yes,
that if somebody comes to me and say this, that it's my duty to report it, whether it's true or not. I'm not the judge and jury to decide that, but I must start that process.
And at the very, very least, as a leader, and I personally don't care what title you hold, what industry, if you are holding any type of leadership role and somebody comes to you and says, hey, I need help, how dare you not do something? I know. You might not know exactly what to do, but there are so many resources out there. You could have called anyone, reached out. Heck, go to HR.
This day and time, you know what? This day and time, we can't even say anymore that we don't know.
No.
It's too many resources out here now to say that we don't know. And if you don't know, you can find out. Google. Google. You could just Google domestic violence.
So it's like, it's a choice at the end of the day. And that's where we say there's so many layers to this, because we get that it's personal, it's a choice, but, and I'm not saying this about the coach, let me be very, very clear, because I don't know what his personal history is, but what I've found with talking to people and just really doing this, a lot of times people that don't say anything is because in some way either they've been involved in abuse, and I'm talking on both sides, from the abuser to the victim. It's almost like they put up this wall and don't want to touch it. So it's layered.
They do. And you know what, for me, you know, with us doing this, it's always with the victim. The victim always have to prove their self, to prove to someone that this is happening to me. But the abuser can say, I didn't do it. They're like, I believe you.
Yeah. And that's it.
And it's so easy, you know, it's so easy. It's so easy to believe them. And a lot of times people just don't want to get involved because they have their own thoughts of saying, well, you're just going to be with him anyway.
Right.
So why should I get involved with him? And then now I have a beef. It becomes a beef between me and him because he feels as though I'm getting in his business.
Right. And there's, that educational piece. And even if it's a tip on what to say, how to say it, how to address it, do that. And I get it. And we do have to also put out there that we do get sometimes, depending on the severity and the level of abuse, you might be putting yourself in danger. That is very true. But then it goes right back to at least get the information, because you don't have to jump in, per se, to put yourself in danger. But there's still things that you can do, maybe to call somebody, the authorities.
Call the police.
Call the police.
Call the police.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not snitching. And
as
crazy as that is, you think we're adults. No, snitching is still a big, big thing in the community. And it's not snitching. It's saving somebody's life.
I hear a lot of adults talking just like that. They still have the saying from when they was a kid that snitches get stitches. And people believe that. So they want to stay away from that. And because domestic violence is still so taboo, even with it at epidemic status, and everybody is enduring this, and everybody knows someone that's going through this, but it's still taboo to even talk about it. But we have to free ourselves from that, because it's not anyone's fault.
No, it's not. And what I'm finding, and this has amazed me to some degree, I'm going to be real honest and say, this is me speaking personally, I find some of the abusers don't know that they are being abusive.
They don't. That is true. That is true.
So
because it's so norm, like how you said, if I grew up in a household and I had to watch my dad or stepdad belittle my mother, verbally abuse her, and then physically abuse her, even though you know it's wrong, but you start to believe that this is how you act in relationship.
Right.
So when you grow up and you start having relationship, you start mimicking them same behaviors. So you don't see yourself as an abuser, and you don't even see yourself as a victim. Because I know it's a lot of women that comes to me after we give our stories, and they be like, I didn't realize that I was abused. Because sometimes the physical is not a part of it. So they don't know about the emotional and the psychological part about it, and even the financial. The financial abuse is the #1 reason why most women stay. And we don't even know that that's abuse.
Right.
Because he withholds the money. And he only gives me a little bit of money for groceries, and this is for this, and you better not spend more than that. You thinking you fall in the budget.
No.
You know?
And, and there are consequences to that, but it's really a control factor. It's a control factor. Money goes a long way, and the fear of, quote unquote, being broke or feeling broken because you don't have money in your pocket. I say, please live your life. Please live your life. We all have skills, and once you make a decision, it has to come from within you. And when you're ready, sometimes, and let me say this, it is not easy. It is not easy. But sometimes you got to walk that pain just a little bit to be free. And it takes time to heal. But if you're okay with that, first and foremost, you have to give yourself a chance to live.
Yes, and that's so important. You have to heal from that. And if it means, a lot of times, you know, sometimes you have to have therapy. You know, we are pro-therapy. definitely get the therapy that you need so you can be able to move forward, because all relationships won't be like that.
No.
But you have to know what you're bringing to the table. You have to know what you're adding to the dysfunction.
Yes, and what you're allowing, what you won't allow. And I've been big on this lately, you guys, but basically knowing where you come from, where you are at currently, and where you want to go. You link those three things together, you'll make the best decisions for you. And therapy is a blessing. It really is. And it's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Right.
It is nothing to be embarrassed about. It really is tapping into who you are and being in a safe place where you can do it without the disturbing pieces of trying to be everything to everybody at the same time. It's okay.
That people pleasing.
Yes.
That people pleasing kill us all the time, because it forces us to do things that we don't even want to do. We so busy want to make sure everybody else is all right, but then we end up not being all right. Okay?
So, yeah.
That's crazy. So we're going to have a lot of more stories like this.
Yes.
A lot of more stories like this. Now that we're more victims are getting the courage to be able to tell somebody that they think that can maybe step in. So us as leaders and in those roles, you have to start researching, know what to do. I always tell people to keep the domestic violence hotline number.
Yes.
That number is 1-800-799-SAFE. You never know when you may need that number.
Right.
You never know. That way you can pass it on to someone that's going through that, or maybe a family member is coming to you, and that number will be able to provide resources throughout the country to be able to assist them.
Yes, and I have to say, if that's the only thing that you do, it's a huge
It's huge.
It's
huge.
Give
it's
them
huge.
that number.
Because you started the process.
Yeah.
And don't worry about how many times they go back. And like we have a thing, and I wanted to share this before we go to break, is that you have to know how to be a friend to a victim and to an abuser. I mean, we all have a role to play in this.
Yes.
And so we have to know that you have to love them through this. You can't abandon them. You can't talk down on them, because I'm telling you, all that do is pushes them further into the situation.
Yes, and they feel protected.
Exactly.
That hurts them. So, yes, be a friend. That is huge. That is major. Just at least listen. At least listen. No judgment.
No judgment.
No judgment.
No judgment.
So.
Let me tell you something. It has happened to the best of us. It has happened to the best of us. And a lot of us who have also said that it would never be me.
Right. Right.
One day you wake up and you're like, how did I get here?
Right.
You know?
Sometimes it's not the next morning.
No.
It's 5, 10, 15, 20 years later.
Later. You want to know, how did you get in this situation?
Right.
Well, that was definitely our girl chat for the day. So I hopefully this will make national news.
Yes.
It will make national news. That way other coaches and things like that, when they're in this situation, they're going to be able to help. Because we know what's going on with the NFL.
Yes.
So we know it's going on. So maybe if a lot of them other women start coming to these head coaches or offensive coaches, have that domestic violence. Yeah, have that domestic violence number ready for them.
Yeah.
You know, to give them some help to get out that situation.
Absolutely.
Well, we're definitely going to move on. We are come to our first break. We have a lovely guest in the studio today. We have Mrs. Sheila Malloy-Hall.
Yeah.
She is the founder and executive director of Healing to Grace, and she is here in the studio to talk about her phenomenal Awakening Healing Conference that will be happening on September the 15th. So we're going to take this quick break, and we'll be right back. You are watching The Mignon Show with Jewel and Mignon.
I don't want to lose it. Life, but I ain't scared. If I'm gonna be the only one participating in this, I'm lonely whenever you're around. Hey, I'm lonely whenever you're around. Ow. Down, 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 whenever you're around.
Boxwave.com and the Lakeisha Brown Foundation is putting on a benefit concert on the Honesty, bringing awareness to domestic violence. We want to thank our big sponsor, which is Creative Bodies. We have DJ Drew who will be on the boat. We have Prima, Songbird. We also have Oscar D who's going to be doing some live performances. Plenty of food. It's a brunch from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, September 29th. We don't want you to miss early bird specials. Tickets are $115 early bird special. Please come to this event. Buy your tickets right now. It's Vox Wave, baby. Come to the event.
Give me find that body, y'all. Oh, find that body now. We got a party over here. We got a party over here. We got a party over there. We got a party over there. We got a party back there. We got a party back there. We got a party in the same.
Funk is not the only thing you cannot do.
Still nothing coming out of get funny with me now. Talk to me, baby. You feel the funk is what you wanna do.
You feel the funk is what you wanna do.
Say, come on here and let the funkitize you. Oh, man.
Welcome back to the Mignon Show. As you can see, we have our beautiful guests who have joined us. Yay. We have the beautiful Sheila Malloy-Hall here. Yay. Welcome, Sheila.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's such a blessing to have you back here with us today.
Oh, it's such a blessing to be here.
Yes, and y'all see they left me out the yellow memo. I didn't get the yellow memo, but they look so beautiful. Memo. Yes, they look so beautiful.
The airway.
Yes.
Yes.
So we definitely have Miss Sheila here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to read you a portion of her bio because it's huge. She does a lot. She got a lot going on. So, Sheila Malloy-Hall is the founder of Healing to Grace, Inc., a nonprofit organization that addresses the impact and aftermath of abuse and domestic violence. No longer a victim, her personal testimony of surviving abuse moves crowds to tears, springs forth laughter, and prompts her audience to reflect on ways to begin their own healing journey. They are encouraged to rise above the challenges associated with domestic violence victimization in a judgment-free zone.
Yes.
That is powerful.
That's powerful.
Because it's all about healing.
Yes, yes. It's all about healing, and it's all about preparing for healing. And it's all about accepting that you need healing.
Yes.
A lot of women, men, boys, girls, don't know that they need healing. A lot of people move from the environment and they think that they're okay. And they just go about life because they're so excited just to be out of that situation. So they just go about life. But the truth is that when trauma sets in, you have got to get help for that.
Yes.
If you don't, it is going to show itself in so many other ways in your life. I mean, you can become someone who's abusive.
Absolutely.
You can pass that trait down through your family. You know, it can affect you in every aspect of your life.
Absolutely, because they're triggers. And like you think because you have removed yourself from the situation and then you're like, okay, I'm away and it's all good until you meet someone else and they start sounding like or doing things that happen in that abusive relationship and then now all those feelings and emotions have come back up. So we have to be able to deal with those.
Got to be able to deal with those. And even if you don't meet someone, even in your quiet time, because for me, I wasn't even in with someone when I had my breakdown. I wasn't with anyone. I was home by myself. But when you're home by yourself and you've gone through that trauma begins to play in your head. The psychological piece sets in because you begin to reflect on what that person said to you, what that person did to you. You begin to question yourself, like, what's wrong with me? How could I have let that happen to me? And then you hear those voices of people who are so judgmental that say, that could never be me. I would have never been in a situation like that. But you don't know what situation you could find yourself in. I mean, I never thought I would be in that situation.
Absolutely.
You know, girl from the streets of D.C., you know, I had a whole lot of mouth. I thought that I would never be in that situation. But the situation showed itself to me, and I was in it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting to me. A lot of times if people, oh, that wouldn't be me, knowing that you went through it, either they're in it or they're the ones doing it. So that is always
That's so true.
that moment where you're like, huh? But yeah, so it goes a long way. And even with PTSD, which is not often associated with the effects of being a victim, but that's huge.
It's huge.
That
It's
is
huge. It's huge. Yeah, because it's any type of trauma that you experience. A lot of us only think of PTSD when it comes to veterans, you know, military.
Yeah.
But it's any traumatic experience you have ever been through.
Yes.
You can go through I used to always wonder why when I drive, I will be always looking in the rearview mirror. And when I found out about PTSD, I related back to when the 2 major car accidents I had, I was hit from behind.
Yeah.
So as I'm driving, my mind is always cautious. Is somebody going to hit me again?
Yes.
So I'm always looking in the rearview mirror. So, I mean, it happens. And we have to know that why things is happening. Like, I never knew why I was doing that until I found out about PTSD. Then I'm like, I'm suffering through PTSD when it comes to car accidents. You know, I'm trying to make sure that no one is going to run into me in the back.
Yeah. And when you see, what happens is when we get help that we need, that's when you become educated. When you go and you talk to someone and you share your stories and you learn, you become educated and you begin to understand what's happening to you. You begin to understand what you've gone through. Because for so long, domestic violence really didn't have a name.
Yes.
When I was in my first marriage of domestic violence, it didn't have a name. I mean, I don't even think when the police showed up at my place that they even knew what it was called. You know, and they didn't have the resources that we have now. So I just thank God that we have so many resources now. But I didn't have those resources, and we didn't have a name for it. And the shame of it all was really what the name was for me. It was just a very shameful situation. And but now when you go and you get help. I cannot stress that enough, how important it is to ask for help. The shame is when you don't ask for help.
Right.
That's the shame right there, because you will repeatedly live that life over and over again. It wasn't until I broke down. I mean, I had to have a breakdown to go and get help. I went to get help for years, but I never was consistent in the process of it. But when I had my breakdown, when I was in the midst of suicide, that's when I went to get some serious help and realized that there was something wrong with me. There was some trauma set in me. No wonder I was acting out the way I was. No wonder I was so defensive. No wonder I was so cautious. No wonder I was so angry and depressed, because someone had literally took years and said that they would kill me every day of my life. To have someone constantly saying to you, I'm going to kill you, you begin to believe that thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it might actually happen.
Yes.
It might actually happen. That's not a joke. But I would love for you to share, if you're comfortable, what stopped you from committing the suicide, because that's, to me, a very personal topic, and unfortunately, a lot of people even admit that they have those thoughts. But what stopped you?
Well, let me just say this. I have been so transparent. If you've ever been on my Facebook page or heard me speak, then you know I tell my truth. So God didn't give me this platform to be shameful of anything.
That's right.
So God placed me here for a reason. So I'm obedient to what He's called me to do. So there's no shame in my game any longer. But what stopped me literally is God. For real, is God. I wasn't thinking about it. I was actually in the act of it. I was trying to hang myself. But God, it was God. It's so funny. I can laugh at it now.
Yeah, now you can't. I understand.
I was trying to put an extension cord in the vent in my ceiling. I had already tied it around my neck, and I was trying to get the extension cord in the vent, but I couldn't. And I got tired. I was tired. I couldn't do it no more. It wasn't working for me. But I got down. But when I got down, I fell to my knees, and I cried out to the Lord, like, Lord, I can't take this anymore. What do I do? Help me, Father God. And that was the moment that the healing began for me, because I went before my knees and I called out to God. And I'm telling you, it was a process of being in a fetal position for about 12 hours. I'm talking about crying out to the Lord. And when you have a relationship with the Lord and you call His name, He's there for you. I mean, when you really call His name. And that's what stopped me. that is really what stopped me. And I thank God that He has a plan and a purpose for my life.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Very,
Amen.
Yes, so have to definitely find your moment that you need to reach out to get you up.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's okay to fall.
It's okay to
it's
fall.
okay to fall.
We live in a society now where people are so judgmental, in a society where we look on television, you know, these images before us show us that we need to be perfect in everything we do. We need to be perfect in our size. We need to be perfect in the way we wear our hair. We need to be perfect in all these things. No, we don't. We just have to be perfect for the Lord. And the Lord accepts us as we are. And so when He accepts us as we are perfect in His image. And so now I can boldly walk because I'm so comfortable in who I am, because I know I'm God's child and He accepts me and loves me. So now I can love all of me. I mean, it's a time when I was younger, I was so uncomfortable in my long, lanky body. I hated my long, lanky frame. You know, I thought I was the most unattractive, skinny girl in the world. But now I kind of like this long, tall frame of mine. You know, but it wasn't until I did some self-work and understand that I am a blessing to the universe and God has something mighty for me.
Absolutely. And that self-love piece is huge. That self-love piece is huge, because once you find who you are and love yourself, then a lot of times the things that we were used to accepting, we don't accept no more.
That's right.
You know, so nobody can come and be controlling and do all these different things to you, because you like, that was the old me. You should have caught me way back when. Don't even try it. But that's why it's so important that we teach the younger generation, because we know in this time with our young girls growing up, you know, body image is a huge part of a lot of depression. What they're going through is because of that same thing, the internet and the TV of telling everybody you have to have this perfect body and this type of skin complexion, and they're bleaching their skin and they're getting all these illegal injections and stuff, trying to have a more plump body, and they're killing themselves trying to live up to an image, and that's photoshopped.
Absolutely.
It's false. It's false. Because they say what the average size woman size in the United States is a 14.
12, 14.
It's a 14, guys.
Yeah. It's not a 2 or
It's
4.
not a 2 or 4. It's a 14, and we're killing ourselves to go after that size too, because of what society has deemed what is beautiful.
Right. And you know, beautiful is really only skin deep.
Exactly.
It's your own perception of what you think of yourself. So when you begin to do some self-work, you can't even love yourself until you do some self-work. You can't even appreciate self-care until you do self-work. It comes self-work, then it comes self-care. And that self-care piece, I love self-care. I pamper myself every day. I pamper Sheila, because I deserve to be pampered.
Absolutely.
I mean, and self-care is different for everybody. Self-care for me is my prayer time. Self-care for me is reading some of my spiritual books to help me on my journey. Self-care is going to get my facials. Self-care is going to get manicure and pedicure. Self-care is hanging out with my boo wrapped up in his arms.
Absolutely.
That's self-care. Self-care is different for everyone, but it's self-work and self-care. You merge those two together, and it's a great formulation.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think, so a couple pieces to that as we were discussing this. So I'm really, really big on the youth, right? So as young as 5, as we've been even coming through the door, I have to remind them, you are perfect. You're the perfect you.
The perfect you.
There is no other you. I can guarantee you that. There is no other you. And really instilling that worth early goes a long way, because I have to say, I can see the difference between the ones that are getting, truly nurtured at home, so that they stand their ground and know who they are. Still leave room to improve ourselves. There's always room for refinement. But knowing the essence of who you are, being proud of who you are, who's going to take that away from you?
No
But you know what? For the youth, though, here's one of the problems, though. For a mother who is a victim of domestic violence or abuse, if that mother hasn't gotten the help that she needs, she really can't help her own child because she can't impart self-love on that child because she has no self-love for herself. And that's the beauty of getting help for yourself, because once you get that self-help, then you can impart that on the generations connected to you.
Absolutely.
But and it's not, I think for so many women, it's not that they don't want to love their kids. They don't know how.
They don't know how.
They don't.
Their self-esteem has been taken from them. They have been beaten to the lowest of low. They've lost some of their inner self. And so now they're too busy trying to find themselves, and they can't even help their own children out. And so it starts in the whole home, so we can help our kids out.
Indeed.
That's true. Our first ministry should always be our home.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first ministry, you know, a lot of times we're out here, we're doing so much in the community, but we have to get back to our homes and find out what's going on with our children and just how important that is, just to sit down and have that conversation. And we have to stop being so quick that when they say everything is okay, we just walk away.
Right.
Instead of going deeper. You go deeper. What is okay?
That's a trigger right there.
Yeah.
They quickly are to say, everything's okay, Mom. No, that's a trigger right there. Their defenses have gone up immediately, like, well, what does she want? Why is she asking me all these questions? That right there is a telltale sign that something is
going
wrong. So you gotta, I think parents have to find the right language to speak to our generations. You know, you gotta come on, bring it down some. You got to come on and relax yourself a little bit. You know, you can't speak to your children at a capacity of here. You've got to bring that language down so you meet them where they are.
Exactly.
Bring them up from that level. Absolutely.
So they can be able to, you have to be able to relate to them because that's when they get to talking. Because that's the only reason how they open up to us is because we're relatable. We don't do anything magical to them. All we do is stand up there, we share portions of our story and talk to them and open that door, and they just spew it out. Spew it out, everything. And they always say, I wish I could talk to my mom like I talk to you. So parents, it's just about being relatable and being open and not being so judgmental. I mean, we were teenagers. We didn't do everything our parents expected of us, you know, so you got to give them some slack where they can feel comfortable, where they can come and share their most intimate details with you, because I'm telling you, it's a lot going on in their lives. They have so much to deal with.
So much peer pressure.
They have so much to deal with.
God.
And like I always tell people, I say it's different from when I was a child because we didn't have social media. We didn't have the world that if I mess up, the world knows about. You know? So a lot of times we have a lot of young girls, then they getting in relationships, and sometimes they're taking pictures for these young boys, and they are exposing these pictures and putting them online, because it was even a few, I think last year, where a 12-year-old, she had committed suicide because of some pictures that was leaked of her on social media. And if she had someone that she could have just talked to. Just talk to. How many more women could relate to that? Of being in that situation.
There was on the news recently. Now, I can't tell the story as I saw it, but maybe you guys saw this. Maybe you saw this, Jude. There was a young lady who had been having some issues, very depressed. And finally, her mom took her to see someone. But the gist of the story is that she and her younger brother created an app. Have you seen that yet?
No.
They created an app where you can link like 5 of your closest friends to this app. And if you needed help, like the young girl had been thinking about suicide. And so she created the app. And if you would like just go to your app and click it, it would send a signal to whoever you have, you know, deemed as your 5 close friends. And it will send an alert to them, letting them know that you need some help.
Wow.
They can like call you and be like, hey, are you okay? You just pushed your help button. Are you okay? I thought to myself, first I thought, Dad, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, I'm sitting here saying the same thing.
Why didn't I think of that? And then I was like, that's absolutely amazing. Because in that moment of thinking about suicide or having some sort of breakdown, there's a part of you that would like to be able to reach for someone, but you don't know who you can reach for at that time. You know, it's a matter when that moment hits you that you want to ask for help. could you imagine like having your phone when that moment hits you and you just grab your phone and the spirit of the moment and hit it? And you've already put that signal out that I want help. And you can't take the signal back now. You know, I thought that was genius of them.
That is. We got to look into that and see what that is.
We got to look into that.
Yeah, we got to definitely look into that because that is powerful.
Yes.
That is powerful. And that way you have already created your village. You know what I'm saying? You have already created your village that when they get that soon, they already know what to do. They already know how to jump in. This is not a game. I need to reach out to them. I need to talk to them. So that is awesome. Bravo to them.
And thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you for sharing that.
Good stuff.
So guys, now we want to talk to Sheila about, she has a conference that she does every year. This is the second year for your conference, right? So tell us about this awesome conference that you're having.
Well, I am excited about my conference. The conference is Healing is Beautiful. So my organization is Healing to Grace. So Healing to Grace, I chose that name. Well, I didn't even choose the name. God gave me that name. It's God letting me know that he's going to give me grace as he heals me. He's going to carry me through as he heals me. So the healing journey is forever. There's different stages in your journey. And so one of the things that God tasked me with is having this conference. And I remember when he first said to have the conference, I was like, Lord, have a conference? Who's going to come? And God was just like, trust me. Trust me. And I'll make a way. I'll provide all that you need. So last year I did the conference. It was free. I had breakfast. I had some phenomenal speakers. We only did it for half the day. And it was wonderful. And right after that conference, as I was receiving love from all the women, God said, now I want you to do this again. And I thought to myself, oh my God, really? But then when God said to do it again, the vision became bigger. And I'm like, God, how do I make this happen? Again, trust me. So healing is beautiful. One of the things that I think that so many people feel, because I felt it too, just because you ask for help, it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
And just because you've gone through some trials and tribulations in your life, it's not a bad thing. There's beauty in all of us. God created us in his image. So we're beautiful people. We come in different shapes and sizes and different colors, but we're beautiful people. And God wants us all to live that beautiful life that he has for us. And so that's how Healing is Beautiful came. And then the awakening is this topic. The awakening is that I want women to awaken to their fullest, internal, highest self. I'm about champion women and to their internal fulfillment. Because see, here's the thing. On the exterior, we look like we have it all together. Women, we run, we do everything, right? We look like we just got it going on. But I know I'm not the only one who would go home from work and peel off all of this, get in her bed, and put the covers over her head. That's because internally, I put on the mask for the world, but then at home, it was just me and my thoughts. That's because that internal piece, it was broken. I was severely broken internally. Exterior, yes, I look like I have it all together, but that's just a mask. And so I want women to come to this conference, and first of all, when you walk in the room, see, I believe that your environment speaks a lot to your spirit. Like my home is so important that it's peace up in there. You know, I'm a believer in candles and meditating and reading nice jazz music here and there. I need my environment to set a stage for me. So when you walk in a room, it's nothing but pure elegance. I mean, I'm putting my foot into this. Healing to Grace is a nonprofit. So which means that Sheila Malloy Enterprises is funding this.
Right.
I'm looking for some sponsors.
That's right.
Yes, but when you walk in the room, it's going to be nothing short of pure elegance. The speakers are phenomenal, 5 phenomenal speakers, and each speaker has a powerful story of triumph. I know that each speaker is going to speak to somebody in the room. It's not just about encouraging women through domestic violence or abuse. It's encouraging women through whatever you've gone through. Maybe you just recently went through a divorce. Maybe you lost a loved one. Maybe your children are tripping and you don't know what to do with yourself. This conference will meet the need of every woman there. And then you got me, who's going to tell my story. But I changed the game last year. I don't just speak my story. I act my story out. So that's a piece to see in itself. So this year the conference is from 9:30 to 4:30. 5 phenomenal speakers, a hot catered lunch, a beautiful songstress, praise dance, and then we got the hour of lunch and networking and dancing. Oh, and there's a DJ in the house. We're going to get our two-step on. This conference is going to really empower women. It's going to give you that, that burst of energy. Like sometimes you just need like a little kick.
Yeah, you
like,
do.
You know what you need. You know what you want to do. But sometimes we need like a little kick. Like you pop a vitamin. This conference is your vitamin. Come and get your spirit renewed. Come and get that boost of energy that you need. Come and get that vitamin C that you need. Because I guarantee you that this conference is going to be, it's not just going to be speakers speaking. It's just not going to do that. And yes, there'll be moments of crying because we're going to touch your soul.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, trust me and believe. Whenever I go somewhere, the Lord is right there. So he will be in the midst of the room. So if you don't know the Lord, you might give your life to the Lord at that conference.
Amen.
Last year we did something, Women Pray Together Circle. It wasn't even on the program. But the Lord spoke to me and said, stop everything right now. And had every woman get up and join hands and go to prayer. When I tell you it was so powerful, after that prayer, there were some women in the room who wanted to have a private moment with me to say some things. Oh, and also, too, I got you covered. If you've never asked for help, ask for help at the conference. I have some professional psychiatrists and therapists in the audience.
Y'all hear that?
If you want to take 5 minutes and go in the back, we'll have a private room set up where you can go in the back and talk to someone. I'm not going to let you leave there. I'm not going to take you up and take you down and let you walk out the door. I want you to get the help that you need. So this conference will be like any other conference that you've ever gone to. Beautiful. So get your tickets. The tickets are right now. The tickets are $40. That includes everything. You can go to my website, www.healing2grace.org. Go to the events page and get your ticket. Or hit me up on Messenger. But I have a surprise for you tonight.
Okay, we're waiting for the surprise. What is the surprise?
So the surprise tonight, the first 2 people who call in or text you or reach out to you on Messenger, the first 2 people, I'm going to give away 2 tickets tonight. Nice. That's only until I leave. Once I leave,
so y'all better hit me up right now at MBA Speaks on Facebook. And I'm waiting to get those first 2 messages. You will get a free ticket to the Healing is Beautiful conference. Yes. Y'all hear that?
Yes.
Miss Sheila Malloy-Hall is giving away 2 tickets. 2? That is awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome.
When I started this last year, I gave away some. Well, last year it was free, but I went after women to bring them to come. And this year, I've already given away tickets. I can't help it. That's just how I am. But I do want people to share the information about the conference. I do want women to come to the conference. I promise you, you're not going to regret this. This is a small investment. I don't really know any other conference where you can come for this cost and get all that I'm offering.
Absolutely.
So I just don't know.
It's a steal.
It's just a steal.
It's a steal because I'm telling you, with all that's going on, and I remember I couldn't make it last year, but I will be there this year.
Yes.
And just seeing the pictures just spoke of so much love and healing that was in that room that day. And I was like, you know what? I have to be there.
Yes.
I have to be there.
Yes.
So I will be. So Sheila, give everybody your contact information again and how they can get tickets.
So you can get tickets by going to Healing to Grace. So it's healing, then the number 2grace.org. Click on the events page and you can purchase your ticket there. Hit me up on Messenger if you want to get tickets. Go to my page. And you can also find out more about my story, more about my organization, about the mission and the vision for Healing to Grace. It's just really going to be a phenomenal conference. If you're on Facebook, you can go to my Facebook page, Sheila Malloy-Hall, and find out all the information about the conference and about the speakers. Dr. Vicki Johnson, Dr. Marilyn Porter, Teresa Proctor, Valerie Williams, Denise McCain, Sheila Malloy-Hall. This conference is going to be phenomenal because I do everything in excellence because who my Father is. I promise you, you're not going to regret this day. In fact, you're going to want to be in the room. You don't want to hear about it because you're going to be sad if you miss it.
Yes.
But I'm telling you now, the tickets are going fast. We only have a few more tickets that I can sell because I don't want the room to be overcrowded. I want the room to have a nice, space so people can move around and network so we can hug each other. So get your tickets. They are going fast, and it's going to be wonderful.
Yes,
Yay.
it is. And I'm telling you, all those names you just said right there, those are some phenomenal women that's out here that's doing work. And ooh, y'all, I'm telling you, y'all gonna be blessed. Y'all need to get these tickets. Get these tickets. Oh my goodness.
My Veronica Williams, she is my cousin by marriage. Now check this out. So when I married my husband, I met his cousin who lives in Atlanta, who is an advocate for domestic violence. Speaker all over the Atlantic area, got books galore. This sister, when I tell you this sister's mission right now is God ordained, this sister was shot with a shotgun.
Oh my goodness.
And lived to tell the story.
Wow.
So her story of triumph is nothing but a blessing. So I'm so looking forward to having Valerie come down and bless us with her story and all that she's got going on and how, her goal is that we all are overcomers. And she wants to spread that message. So I'm so excited to have her come down and share her story.
Yes, I am excited to hear. And I'm so excited for you. You know, all that you got going on in your conference. I am just so proud of you and everything that you have going on. From the first time I have met you, you have always been the same in such a beautiful spirit and always so about something, my God, my God, my God. She loves her father.
Yes, I do. I mean, honestly speaking, I can't say it enough. If I didn't have God, I would lose me because that's my source, that's my strength. I mean, if I didn't have God, I would let go. And letting go is not that hard. I mean, this world that we live in and all that we deal with in life, when you've come from such pain and trauma that I've gone through in my life, and most people don't know my whole story. They only know the piece of domestic violence. This story is deep.
Girl,
and
come on now.
When I first went to therapy, that's when I really broke down and I realized my therapist said, no, I don't want to talk about domestic violence. Let's talk about what happened before that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I tell you guys, this hour is always so fast. It comes up so fast, right? It does. But we want to thank Mrs. Sheila Malloy-Hall for coming in, the founder and executive director of Healing to Grace. And guys, get those tickets. So also we have our celebrity co-host here today, Jewel. So Jewel, let them know how they can get in contact with you on social media.
Yes, so please do check out our page. It is An Earthly Embrace, and definitely check out our website. It's www.aecinc.org. So definitely check us out. That's we're out in the community.
Absolutely. And also, you can get in contact with me on Facebook at NBA Speaks and also Instagram at Mignon Brown Anderson. So we wanted to thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have Jewel back in the house. She is here for the whole month of August. So we just thank you, and everybody have a good night, and God bless.